Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RAMP, Real Access Motivates Progress Wednesday night live podcast. I hope you're all having a great new year, and we're very excited for tonight's show. I swear by these things. We are talking about natural healing through essential oils, and I have some very amazing guests with me tonight. Thank you all for joining me tonight. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
We're great. Thank you. We're good. Happy to be here.
Oh, great. Well, let's get right into it. Jamie, let's start with you. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got into essential oils?
Okay. Thank you so much, Tina, for having us. We're very excited to be here tonight. My name is Jamie Oakley. I'm a physician assistant. I've been practicing for almost 8 years. I'm also a mom of 3. So I have a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. I started using essential oils actually when I was pregnant with my first son. So almost 7 years ago. Been trained in medicine, so I did not know anything about the natural side of healthcare. And so I was looking for something natural for my baby. So as I started using them, it was a complete eye-opener, and it's changed our world and our medicine cabinet. So now it's really what we go for my kids and for my family. So I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, great. And let's go to you, Dave. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Tina. I'm super happy to be here with you guys. So my wife and I, we owned a strength and conditioning facility, a gym where, we get to meet lots of people and make lots of friends, and somehow end up being asked lots of advice on different things that we're not qualified to give advice on, but you're part of a community. And about 9 years ago, we were introduced to essential oils when my wife was pregnant with our 4th child. And that just opened up our eyes to the possibility of natural remedies. And from there, we found ourselves sharing essential oils with people within our facility. We'd see people come in with a small chest cold or something, be like, hey, try this. Maybe it'll help you with your workout. And from there, it just grew. And now, for example, my 8-year-old daughter has never been on an antibiotic in her entire life because we've not had the need to use them. And so I'm super excited to be here with you guys today.
That's great. And Marilyn, let's hear a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah. Super excited to be here as well. Love sharing everything about the oils. So my kind of background, I am an RN, primarily cardiac. It kind of always seems to come back to the babies by the sounds of it. So I also sort of started to dive into the oils after my first one was born. Really long story short, he was not a sleeper at all. It was pretty rough for the first few years. And I actually stumbled upon, actually thanks to Jamie, lavender oil. And I more or less kind of got the oil onto him after trying all of the other things out there. And he slept more soundly the first time I put the lavender on him. And it kind of just became, again, this lifestyle, I think is what it turns into. So between, my husband struggling with things like head tension and everything in between, I just naturally started to share the oils. And now this is really what I love to do, is to teach and share with others. So that's my story.
Oh, that's great. And let me tell you, Jamie has turned me on to some of the oils as well. And I am a firm believer in them. And being a part of the disabled community, these oils can be used for so many things. I mean, you can imagine what our medicine cabinets look like. Mine is dwindling because of the essential oils. Jamie, why don't you tell everybody exactly what essential oils are?
Okay, yeah, that's often the first question we get. Like, what are these things? So essential oils are actually natural aromatic compounds, and they're found in the plants. So they're all natural. They're extracted and distilled from plants, and we're able to get the natural healing benefits. If you look at a plant, if you were to magnify a leaf of a plant, you would see these small little sacs. And what they are is the essential oil sacs. I like to say it's almost like the immunity of the plant, because you think about like trees and plants out in nature, they're hundreds of years old. And how do they survive the elements? They're also have to be protected from microbes and everything else like our body. So it's actually the protection for the plant. So they're actually found in all different areas of the plant. It can be from the leaf, the stems, the bark, flower, and citrus oils we actually extract from the rinds of the fruit. So by doing that, we get all of the health benefits, and we're able to use that on our bodies.
And are they safe?
They are absolutely safe. And so the ones that we're going to talk about today are doTERRA essential oils. And the thing about doTERRA essential oils is they are the highest quality essential oil anywhere in the world. And why we use these is because of their standard. It's called CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. What that means is they're the highest tested and most trusted essential oil anywhere in the world. Oftentimes, you can have fillers and synthetics in oils. There is absolutely nothing in these oils. They are absolutely pure and potent. What pure means is there's nothing added and nothing taken away. So it's absolutely 100% pure. What potent means is it's actually grown all over the world. So the plants are grown in their natural environments. So that picture we just saw is all different countries that doTERRA sources from. So you can see all over the world, 47 different countries that they source from. So that makes doTERRA completely different from any other company in the whole world, because when you keep your plant and you grow them in its native environment, in the soil, in the sun, in their native environment, you are going to get absolutely the most pure oil that you can find, and it's going to give us the best benefit for our health. So they are absolutely safe. There's no side effects too. Often, Tina, you probably are very familiar with it. You know, with modern medicine, as a PA, unfortunately, I'm very aware of this too, is modern medicine, you know, you come in and you have something and we kind of take care of symptoms, right? We try to decrease your symptoms and manage them. So you're kind of like piling on, try this for this, try that for that. In the natural medicine with the oils, we're actually getting to the root cause. So by doing that, there's no synthetics, there's no side effects, and no addictions. So that's a big difference and why I love using the natural solutions.
That's great. Marilyn, tell us a little bit about how you would use an oil. Like, give us some of the ideas of how you would use the essential oils.
Sure. So there are a few different ways that the oils can actually be used. It's really interesting because a lot of people often think that oils are just good for their scent, you know, or they just smell good, but they're actually, when you're using a pure essential oil like doTERRA's, they're good for so many different things and ways that we can actually support ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So really the first way that you can use an oil is aromatically, right? Or we like to say to breathe that oil in. So a lot of people nowadays are familiar with diffusers. So you're adding your oils to the water and the diffuser itself is able to disperse the oils into the air. And so by using oils aromatically, we can help to clean the air, but we can also help to sort of manipulate the way that we're feeling. So the oils are huge when we use them for our emotional needs. And, you know, a lot of people do think that oils are kind of this new kind of fad, but in reality, they've been used, you know, for centuries. They go way, way back in time. And so just to give you kind of a quick example of how you could use an oil aromatically by breathing it in, not only is in the diffuser, but you could take an oil itself and inhale it directly from the bottle. So if everyone can kind of focus for a minute, I kind of want to illustrate how the oils can be used aromatically. So if you kind of, I know that a lot of people are watching or listening, but if you kind of take your two fingers and you were to pinch right above the bridge of your nose here, you're going to find behind your fingers there is something called your olfactory nerve. Now, behind our olfactory nerve is what triggers our limbic system in our brain. And the limbic system is often referred to as our seat of emotion, right? So the limbic system is in charge of our mood, emotions, even things like our memory. So just for example, a lot of people have been to the dentist, right, for some sort of minor procedure. And the doctor or the dentist isn't necessarily going to offer you a shot or a pill to swallow, oftentimes they'll offer you that, laughing gas, as we like to call it. So they'll put the mask, on, and they'll ask you to breathe deeply, for a good 20 seconds. So you're breathing in those synthetic compounds through the mask. And what's happening is those compounds are actually triggering that olfactory nerve and then the limbic system in your brain. And that is then signaling the rest of your body, telling it how to feel. So we can use the oils to really uplift, to energize, to help calm and relax. And essential oils actually work the exact same way, but again, they're natural compounds. So that's actually the quickest way to access our brain, is by breathing these essential oils in. So they're wonderful for that uplifting mood support. So that's sort of the first way that you can use essential oils. And there's a couple of other ways. So the second way you can use oils is topically. So for example, if somebody is struggling with any sort of discomfort, maybe in their lower back or hips or knees, or if we're holding a lot of tension in our neck and shoulders, and you have any of that inflammation going on, you can actually apply the oils topically right onto your skin. So I like to just say, put it where you need it. So if you have any sort of head tension or any discomfort, in your back, you can apply the oil there, and it will help to reduce and support any sort of discomfort that you might have. So you can see here, topically, we use it for localized benefits. We do like to recommend diluting the oils with what we refer to as a carrier oil, or a heavier oil that's going to help the essential oil to actually absorb into our skin. And it's great for anybody that does have sensitive skin as well, because we do know that the oils are so incredibly potent. So you can actually see here, Deep Blue. This is like a game changer. Tina, I think you had mentioned at the start, there are a few oils that have really been supportive for you. Deep Blue is one that is great to support and soothe any sort of achy muscles and joints. So again, you can apply it where you need it, and you're going to find that it's really going to help to ease any sort of tension. And then the third way to use oil.
Well, I want to interrupt you there, because the Deep Blue is one that I use. I have it as a roll-on. And I'll tell you, when the neuropathy pain kicks in or the tension in the back of my neck, I roll a little bit of this on, and I'm telling you, within minutes, it's gone. Where I would used to take a whole bunch of pills and stuff like that, within minutes, the Deep Blue takes all of that pain away. So it's so important to make sure that people know that this could be used for anybody. And I know there's another way, Marilyn, but I want to get to Dave, because I know when I'm getting questions. Dave, is this FDA approved? How safe are these for the public? Because I know that's going to be the next question that people are going to ask me.
Sure, and that's a great question. And to be honest, one of the great things is that it's not FDA approved. And let me explain why. Because if it were FDA approved, we would have to get these through prescription only and through doctors. And so by it not being FDA approved, it allows us to be able to use it at will. Now, because these are plant-based medicines, they are naturally occurring in nature, which means there is no patent for them, right? And so it's not like something that somebody can put in a bottle and get a prescription on and then be able to use in that sense from a doctor. So because of that, there are a lot of medical conditions that have been designated by the FDA, and then medicines that are designated by the FDA to assist with those. So if you notice, we're saying things like head tension, we're saying things like support the body, and we're saying these things on purpose because we cannot make medical claims based on a plant-based medicine, okay? So that's why you'll notice us saying things like that. So the other thing is there are so many different products out in the market, and so that's why having something that's third-party tested, like Jamie mentioned earlier, that is the CPTG. Now, some people will say, well, what does CPTG really mean? And the way I like to define it is doTERRA went ahead and actually pioneered a standard, because there wasn't a standard high enough in the world. because they're not FDA approved. So they pioneered CPTG, which allows for people to be able to see that they have been tested by third party, and other companies are actually have the capability of getting their products tested as well to see if they pass the strict standard that CPTG requires in order to be used safely with your family comfortably, right? So no, they're not FDA approved, but like I said, that's actually a good thing, and it's something that I'm actually grateful for.
And are they effective and affordable? Dave.
So effective. Let me answer this. This was I'm glad that you asked me this question, because this was the big aha moment for me, right? When my wife first got introduced to essential oils, like I said, is when she was pregnant. And for me in the beginning, I was a typical guy, right? I didn't understand. I thought they were just like incense. And every time something was needed, my wife would be like, go get the lavender. And I would think to myself, well, you told me to get lavender last time. This is a different thing. And then something else would happen. She'd be like, go get the lavender. I'm like, we're always using the lavender for the same. I don't understand this. But like I said, I was a typical guy. I probably wasn't really listening. The time before, she probably said peppermint. And so when I started to actually research and understand the science, this is the part that actually just blew my mind wide open. I don't know if you have the slide that shows what the cell looks like, but if you have it, I'd love it if you could actually display it here. Because when I learned about, I'm going to grab one of my oils here behind me. So this is a simple example of a cell in our body. Okay, we have cells that make up the building blocks of our bodies. Perfect, thank you. So if you notice there, our cell is actually protected by an oily membrane. And that oily membrane protects the cell so the cell stays solid within our water-based bodies, okay? So I'm sure, like many of us, we've been to the doctor, or many of you, we've been to the doctor, and the doctor says to you, hey, you have a bacterial infection. I'm going to give you an antibiotic, right? Well, an antibiotic is effective on a bacterial infection because if you notice that purple little maybe pokey little bean looks like a little monster on the outside of the cell, that is representing bacteria, okay? A bacterial infection, right? So when you take an antibiotic, it actually is able to flood the body in around the cells, and it's able to attack and it's able to neutralize that infection. But I'm sure all of you, Tina, I'm sure this has happened to you. You've gone to the doctor and he says to you, you've got the flu. You've got a virus. Tina, let me ask you, what does a doctor generally tell you when he says you've got the flu or something? What's his general response?
You can't take anything for it.
Can't take anything for it, right? Why is that? Well, if you go back to that slide that was up there, you'll see that little sunshine looking thing inside of the cell is representing a virus, and that lives within the cell. That is existing within the cell. And that made so much sense to me because that water-based antibiotic is not able to penetrate that cell wall and have an effect on that virus. The doctor says you have to drink lots of water, stay home, and you need to rest, right? With an essential oil, it is oil-based, same as the cellular wall. So when you take the essential oil, either topically, aromatically, or internally, and it gets into your bloodstream, that oil actually will migrate through the cell wall, and it supports the cell's natural ability to rid the cell of that virus, but at an accelerated rate. So I don't want to mislead and say it will kill the virus like that. What it does is it speeds up nature's natural process in eliminating that virus from the cell. So when I read and learned that, my mind was just like blown. This was no longer like grandma's remedies, the old world something. It became science to me, and it became like this piece that I knew that what I was giving to my kids actually was affecting their bodies in a positive way. I hope that answered your question as far as when it comes to being effective.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely answered my question. And I know Jamie can attest to this because when I first got started, I must have had 1,001 questions for Jamie. Side effects or the medicines I'm taking or, this, that, and the other thing, because I'm telling you, my body is like a Trojan iron solid thing. I can take just about any kind of medication and it doesn't affect me. I mean, like I have a steel stomach, I think, because I haven't had any really bad, side effects from really strong medications. But when Jamie started introducing me to the oils, what I like is you just don't go to the store or Walmart and something and buy the oils. That's not what this is. These are people in the medical field who know what they're talking about, who knows what the systems that you're talking about. So you get a support, you get somebody to talk to and to refer to, so that way you're taking the right oils for the right thing at the right time. Jamie, tell us a little bit more about that and how having a consultant is so much more important to all of this, that, like I said, you're not just going to go to Walmart and buy an oil off the shelf and expect it to work, because it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. And it's absolutely, I don't want to say dangerous, but, it's not the safe way, because we talked about, the purity and the potency of doTERRA. So absolutely, Tina, what we love to do as doTERRA wellness advocates and medical professionals is really help people hone in on their health concerns. What oils would work for them? Oils are different for everybody, similar to a medication. They work differently on everybody's body. So I love making that personal connection, guiding people through, really helping them create a lifestyle of health and wellness with these products. So we absolutely will do personalized consultations where we can go through, your medications, talk about each thing, talk about the oils and all your health concerns. It really brings so much passion to me and so much fulfillment when, I get that text message saying, oh my goodness, my son slept, or, oh my goodness, my pain is gone. Like you, Tina, oh, I put this oil on and it helped my hip pain. That is so much more fulfilling to me than here's a muscle relaxer prescription, and here you go, because, that is what we do in modern medicine. So I love helping people and really, making it a personalized consultation.
How can people get in contact with you so that they know how to be guided through this? I know if you look at the top of this post, there is a Google Doc. At the top of this post, there is a Google Doc as part of this. But just let people know your email addresses or how they can contact each one of you, so that way they know that they're working with somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So that Google Doc is great, because what it does is you just click on the link and you could put in your information, your email, your phone number, and it also gives some health issues that you can choose which ones you're struggling with, and we can contact you and set up, a consultation. My personal email address is my name, so Jamie Oakley, JamieOakley 401@gmail.com. And also, I don't know if we mentioned, Tina, but on the Google Doc, if you fill it out, again, we'll capture your information. We'll be able to contact you, but we wanted to do a little fun giveaway for you. So we're going to offer an introductory kit. So what this is a lemon, lavender, and peppermint. We'll go into the oils in just a minute and kind of talk about each one. But these are the 3 really great, helpful oils. So we're going to give one of these away as well.
Marilyn, why don't you give your email address, and then I want you to address that you guys do studies. Tell people how that they can get involved in the studies.
Dave,
Sure.
can you talk about the studies? Because Dave's great at that.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. I'll drop my email. What's really great is we all are able to work together as colleagues. So it might work. I'm more than happy to leave my email as well. But if maybe everyone is referred to Jamie, but anyone that wants to go ahead and email me as well, if you didn't catch Jamie's, my email is Marilyn. So it's my first name, which is actually MARILYN, and it's Dellit, DELLIT @gmail.com. So feel free to email either myself or Jamie, or definitely plug into the Google form. Dave is going to chat quickly about the study, which is a really, really cool way to experience the oils.
Yeah, so like Marilyn and Jamie said, the easiest way is through the Google form, but my personal email is dave7005@gmail.com. If you have questions specific for me and my experiences with the essential oils as far as health and health, strength and conditioning, that type of thing, I'm more than happy. But Tina, one other thing before I get into the study, that you asked me a question earlier and I didn't actually answer. You asked me two questions back to back and I didn't have a chance to answer the second question about essential oils affordability. Do you mind if I touch on that, Tina?
Absolutely. No, go ahead.
So that is one of the major concerns that a lot of people on the surface have about essential oils. They think of them as expensive. And so what I like to do is to help to kind of break it down and help people to realize a little bit of a comparison, I guess, if you will. Okay. So if let's say prior to doTERRA, I felt like every time one of my kids got an ear infection or something like that, it always happened at like 9 or 10 p.m. It was never at a convenient, beautiful hour of the day where I was off work and had nothing else to do and can go to the doctor. It was always in the night, kid waking up crying and needing to go to the emergency room or something like that. So even in today's world, or even in countries where medicine is completely free, right, included in taxes or whatever the case is, socialized medicine, a lot of times people will say, well, I get my medicine for free, so if I pay $30 or $10 or $20 for a bottle of oil, that's more expensive. And I like for people to think about it this way. If you go to the doctor's office and you just drove to the doctor's office and you spent gas to get there, you spent time, maybe time away from work or time in the middle of the night where you now potentially aren't going to work the next day because your loss of sleep through the night, right? Then the doctor gives you a prescription. Now you have to drive to go pick up the prescription. Now you've used more gas to get the prescription. Even if your health care and your prescription is completely paid for by your country or by your insurance, the fact is this: you just spent a lot of time and a lot of gas driving to and from to these different places. Whereas with my daughter, she woke up one night, well, she hadn't quite gone to bed yet, and we live by the ocean, and she was in the water, and she comes in and says, Dad, my ear's hurting. I went and I grabbed a little bit of lavender, a little bit of tea tree. I applied it just around the ear, down the ear canal. I don't put it inside the ear. Put some on a cotton ball, taped it over the ear, put her to bed, and that was it. That cost me, I don't know, 10 cents, 20 cents total versus the cost of gasoline and driving to and from. And on top of that, my daughter didn't have to be on an antibiotic and have the natural side effects, or the side effects that generally occur with an antibiotic. And that's why I'm comfortable in saying that I know that in many cases, essential oils are less expensive than even socialized medicine. Does that make sense, Tina, how I break that down?
It absolutely makes sense, because I can tell you that my medicine cabinet has diminished from actual prescriptions to more oils. It's also readily available, because I'll tell you, being in the disabled community, we don't want to go to the hospital, especially in the middle of a pandemic. We don't want to be near the doctor's office. We do not want to be near other people. We do not want to be in the hospital. So if I can go to my medicine cabinet and grab a couple of oils that is going to take the symptoms away, it's going to make me feel better, and I don't have to go anywhere or be around anybody or be poked and prodded, I'm good with that. So to my peace of mind, I'm much better with that. Yes.
Yeah. So
one
let
of
me
the things
address the study, okay, Tina? So we, as wellness advocates, we believe strongly that we don't want you to buy product without having experienced it and know that it really works and that it works for you. Okay. As wellness advocates, that's what we do. We sit down with people, we find out what their health concerns are. We start with what might be the simplest oil. We go with that, we check on them and we say, hey, how did that work? Yes, it worked. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Okay, let's try this other oil. And together we figure out what it is that they need. Imagine going to a doctor's office, him saying, oh, you have a sinus infection. Here's your prescription. You go home and 2 days later, your doctor calls you and says, hey, is your sinus infection cleared up? I'm sorry to say, but that generally they don't have time for that, right? But as wellness advocates, that's what we do. And so we created a study. So based on if you have digestive issues, which a lot of people suffer from, pain issues, which obviously in this group, that's a significant thing, mental wellness, and I'm going to just leave it broad as mental wellness and not get into diagnosis. And then the last is sleep. The older we get, the more I realize that people suffer from sleep issues, right? And that could be related to other things as well. So once a month, we do a study where we will actually send you 7 days worth of product to use for free. We'll give you a protocol. We'll put you into a Facebook group so you can share your experience if you wish. You can see the others' experiences that other people are having. There's an intro that walks you through in the beginning how to use the oils based on what your condition is. And then at the end is a recap. And so this is a 7-day thing that we do for free. And its pure intention is for you to have an experience that you walk away from that being like, wow, I had no idea that they could have such an impact on my life. And so we start those monthly, every month. So there's one going on right now. So the next one will begin in February. And if you're interested in that, please fill out that Google form and Jamie will be in touch with you and get you sorted out and be included in our next study.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I am probably the hardest headed person to get through, to actually believe that this stuff all worked. Ask Jamie. She spent many hours on the phone with me, talking me off the ledge and said, just try it. And I'll tell you, I am so glad she stuck with me and she helped me, because I'll tell you, so many of my symptoms that I was taking medications for that could actually have serious harm for me down the road are solved by these oils. They are so worth it. And this is why I've done this podcast tonight and on this topic, because it is so important. Like I said, especially for people in the disabled community, because we have more medications than we have hair on our head, probably, that we need to cut back. Marilyn, what do you want to add to all of this?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to add. But really, what I love, and I think ties kind of everything together, is the fact that the oils are so incredibly empowering. And I think that's really what our goal is the majority of the time when we're introducing people to oils, is really just to give them this feeling of empowerment. Because it's true, whether someone is struggling with sleep or digestion, or it's a Friday night and your kid's got an earache, to be able to have these little tools, these little bottles of oil at your fingertips, something that you can do for yourself, whether it's, self-care, for emotional and mood, support, or something physical that you have going on. It's so, so amazing to literally be able to just grab an oil and use it to support yourself in whatever way you need. And so I think, really that's our primary goal, is being able to empower people within their homes. And that's why we love doing what we do and why we are so passionate, about it. So for me, if there's one takeaway, it's that, there are natural, safe, effective solutions out there, and the oils are a really, really great kind of toolbox to have at home to look after yourselves and whatever your specific needs might be.
The nice thing I like about the essential oils as well, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not the masters as you guys are, but it's, when you talk about the expense and the affordability, It's something I can use. It's something my children can use. It's something my grandchildren can use. And it's something my pets can use. And if anybody knows me for half a second, know that my 4 fur babies are my babies. And they can use the oils as well. So you're buying this bottle of peppermint oil, and it doesn't only help me, but my entire family, right down to the pets. Correct?
Absolutely.
Right.
Tina, that's funny you say that because like I had said, I have 3 kids. So you can use them for the whole entire family. I always think about, like you said, peppermint, if I needed Tylenol, right? So if I needed Tylenol, I'd have to buy a bottle for adults, for me and my husband. I'd have to buy a children's Tylenol for my sons. And then I'd get like a baby Tylenol for my baby. So 3 bottles of Tylenol in our house. Not that I would want that, around anyways, but 3 bottles for my family of 5, as opposed to 1 bottle of peppermint, that is about $25 with 250 drops in it. So if my baby has a fever, I'm putting 1 drop with some oil on her feet. And that's it. So that might be 6 cents, 10 cents. So it really does, like you said, covers the whole entire family. Again, lavender, like we had talked about, it is the Swiss Army knife of oil. So you can use that for so many things. So right there, you're saving probably hundreds of dollars if you think about it over the year, all the ways that you can use these oils.
Okay, we're going to have a speed round of questions. We're going to start with Dave. We're going to have the same questions for all 3 of you. So in 1 minute or less, Dave, start us off by your 3 top oils that you use and why.
Okay, so the first one is balance. For me, balance is critical. It's called the grounding blend because as a parent, or for me, I say as a parent because I have 4 kids, so everything is related to that. But we could be responsive or we could be reactive to situations. And that's the best way that I can describe it. And when I use balance daily on the bottom of my feet, I find myself being more responsive as a parent and less reactive. Reactive means fly off the handle, get angry, not process what's happening. Responsive means I recognize my kids are being kids and I need to slow down and I need to be present with them. So number 1, every day I use balance on the bottom of my feet. Number 2 would be the deep blue, partially because I like strength and conditioning, which means I'm generally sore somewhere in my body. And that's why I absolutely love the deep blue. See, hear me still. I don't know. My thing's buffering. Third is the On Guard, and it's just the protective blend. It's great for protecting our cells, and it's great for protecting our immunity and strengthens our immunity so that we're more prepared, especially during this time of year. I don't know if I cut
Marilyn,
out there. I thought I kind of cut out for a second.
Nope, I heard you all. Marilyn, your top 3.
Okay, great.
Oh gosh, it's like another hard question, Tina, because like I love them all, but the beauty of the oils is they really are super versatile. So, it's like Jamie mentioned before, there might be one oil, that works really specifically to target someone's top concern, but there might be another oil that works better for the next person, or maybe there's a magic combination. So it's really cool because you can use the oils for all different needs. But I think that being said, definitely a top one in our house is one called frankincense. So this is a huge one. This is kind of an oil that we more or less refer to as our, our king oil or our liquid gold. So talk about versatility. This one is absolutely huge. And again, being in the medical field, I love the science behind the oils. Frankincense is actually one that's been proven across the blood-brain barrier. So that's absolutely massive when we're looking for any sort of emotional or a mood support. Okay, so if you're someone that really just struggles, a drop of Frank, as we like to refer to it as, under the tongue daily is going to not only help with your mood and emotions, but it kind of works on every single cell in your body, like head to toe. So, if you're struggling with sleep or you're just looking to support your immune system, If you have any sort of skin concerns, frankincense really helps to support that cellular vitality. And again, like we talked about, on a cellular level and without the side effects. So frank for us is a really big one at home. I use it every single morning under my tongue just to help from kind of head to toe. Like I said, my husband does really struggle with pretty severe head tension on occasion. So we not only use the deep blue that Dave referred to, but we use frankincense and another oil called copaiba. So I'd say that's probably our second go-to at home. Copaiba is absolutely amazing for any sort of discomfort in your body. So if anything's flaring up and really uncomfortable, copaiba is going to be your go-to. So I do liken it sometimes to CBD oil because that's kind of like all the rage at the moment. But just know that there is actually a really big difference between the two. Copaiba is actually sourced from the resin of a tree. So it doesn't have any traces of THC whatsoever. So it's going to have very, very similar effects as CBD oil. So whether you're looking to, again, reduce any sort of head tension or physical discomfort, if you're just looking to support your immune system, or help to support any sort of inflammation reduction in your body, copaiba is going to be a fantastic oil. It's able to really target specific receptors within our body to have similar effects to CBD, but no side effects, if that makes sense. So definitely frank, copaiba. And then I think, my third oil, and hopefully I'm not taking this from Jamie because I know we all love it. It's actually a blend of oils and it's called Adaptive. So it's a bit newer to doTERRA, but it's an amazing, amazing oil to help again with that mood and emotional support. So if you're somebody, which I feel like is everybody these days, that kind of has that stress, that those feelings of like anxiety, or if you're just looking for kind of that focus, if you've got racing thoughts or anything, Adaptive is awesome. So we use it in the diffuser to, breathe it in. We apply it topically, if the kids are running around and driving me nuts. I just love, love, love Adaptive. So I'd say that would be probably my third blend. And I'll just say really quickly, Tina, just because we use it at home, like our family, the Adaptive actually comes as like what we refer to as a system. So the oil itself can be used in a diffuser and used aromatically or topically. But what's super cool is they also created like what we refer to as a soft gel, which is a supplement, and it contains certain compounds like GABA, which is huge for helping to support our mental well-being, GABA and scaledium and a few other really cool herbs to really help kind of like bring things back in from an emotional standpoint.
Nice. Okay, Jamie, you're up.
Well, they all said some of mine, but one of my absolute favorites that can't live without is Digestin. So Digestin is a digestive blend. I think we all sometimes can have digestive issues. I know when I was pregnant, I had a lot of discomfort, around my throat area, my abdomen. So Digestin was amazing. Funny story, actually, my son, my oldest, my 6-year-old, woke up last night at 3 a.m. and he's like, "Mommy, my belly hurts, my belly." And so I was like, "Oh, hold on, let me get the oils." And I rolled it on Digestin. And he went back to sleep. And he woke up about, 30 minutes later, and he goes, "Hey, Mom, your oils really work." And then he went back to sleep. And I just like, I loved it because that, again, is like Marilyn was saying, it just empowers us. If I didn't have these options, I don't know what I would do. What would I do at 3 a.m? Put a heating pad on them, be up, drink water, da-da-da-da. And I was like, "Hey, here's your roller, roll it on." So he's able to do it himself. He's 6 years old. He's learning how to, take care of himself and empower himself. And he went back to sleep, and it wasn't even like a blink of an eye. So Digestin for my family is huge. One of the other ones I absolutely love is lemon. So I put lemon in my water every morning. It's great for just cleansing. It's great for metabolism. I use a actually I use this. It's a stainless steel, or you could use a glass water bottle. And nice warm water in the morning is first thing I do in the morning, couple drops in, and it just really, I feel like it sets my body up for the day, and it tastes delicious. And then another one that I absolutely love, can't live without, is Serenity. So that is one of doTERRA's blends. It has lavender in it, so it smells like lavender with kind of a hint of vanilla, but that's my go-to every night in the diffuser. For my baby in her room, I'm always putting Serenity on, and just, it smells so great. It's very calming. And just to quickly mention about Dave said about balance, that is absolutely one of my go-tos as well. Like he had said, I like how you said like reactive, because my 6-year-old son, if he gets upset, he gets a tantrum, I literally just hug him and put balance on, and it's incredible how his mood changes very quickly. So that as well has been a game changer for us.
Like I said, it is so great. I can't talk highly enough about this. And like I said, having a personal consultant to talk about, like I can talk to Jamie about my whole family and, okay, my husband's experience in this and my son is experience in this. What is the best oil to use for this, that, and the other thing? So they're not trying to sell you stuff to spend a lot of your money for nonsense. They really want to help you. They really want to make a difference, and they really want to take your pain away. And it actually works. I can honestly say, from somebody who's very bullheaded and thick-headed, like I said, ask Jamie. It took her very much time to get me to even try them. And now I'm addicted and I'm hooked. So you must try, you must reach out. I want you all to go around and give your contact information one more time with some parting words that you want to leave everybody with. We'll start with you, Dave.
Great. So again, my email is dave7005@gmail.com. Otherwise, please feel free to do the Google form. That's the best way. And the parting words that I want to leave with you guys is really the core reason why I do what I do. Okay. And it's just a quick story. I had a young family that has a daughter, at the time was 5 years old. And they came to me and they said, we've been using the oils. We love them. This is our daughter's having these issues, and her school teacher thinks she should be evaluated. Maybe she needs to get on medication for attention. She's not sure, but she's very difficult. And I said, well, let me come over. I came over and I sat with them. And again, I'm not a professional. I just was there to help them. And they told me what she was doing. And I just felt impressed to ask, well, how does she sleep at night? And they said to me, you know what? It's funny you say that, but every night she bangs her head. She knocks her head on her headboard for 3 hours, and she doesn't sleep. And it happens every night. And I'm thinking to myself, the hormones that are released and how our body heals itself through the night, how could this not be the root cause of the problem? And I said, you know what, let me get you some lavender. I gave them some lavender. I said, I want you to put this on her feet, put this in the diffuser, bottom diffuser, stick it in their room. They did that. The next morning, around 11 a.m., I get a phone call from them. And they said, Dave, we had to call you. We couldn't wait to do this multiple days. Our minds were blown. They said, our daughter, she knocked her head like she does for only about 30 minutes and was out for the rest of the night. When she woke up in the morning, she was a different kid. She was happy. She got dressed without arguing. She ate her breakfast without arguing. She went to school without arguing. And when they picked her up from school at 11 o'clock, the teacher was like, wow, did you guys go to the doctor? What did they give her? And I'm thinking to myself, this family was at a crossroads with their daughter. They could look at her and say there's something wrong and she needs to be medicated. And this daughter is now going to grow up with this mindset that there's something wrong. And the only way I could be right is through medication, right? Or this mindset of being empowered and all I need is some lavender. There's nothing wrong with me. And now this whole family's outlook on life and how this girl and the direction that she's now going in her life from not being labeled versus being labeled, I feel like, and I don't know, it's been years now and I'm still friends with them and they're good and they're happy family, but I can't help but feel like that is why I do what I do, because the impact that that potentially had on that young girl's life as she grows up, when she faces other struggles in her life, she realizes, I can do this. I have the tools, I have the knowledge. I don't need an outside source like a drug or an alcohol or something to make me better. I know how to do it myself. And that's really the core reason why I do what I do.
That's great. Marilyn, why don't you give us your contact information and what you want to leave everybody with?
Sure. My email is my name, Marilyn. So it's MARILYN, Dellit, DELLIT @gmail.com. And I think, I think all of us as wellness advocates have a very, very similar intention. Just like Dave was saying, it's being able to, without sounding like totally over the top, but really being able to change lives. I think it's just something that resonates, with all of us. I know, having worked in the hospitals at the bedside, having patients kind of come and go, I never knew kind of where they ended up, in the end, that we kind of help them to get better and then we send them on their way. I think the difference that I've seen in transitioning to natural health and being able to use the oils, not only for myself and family, but with friends and strangers, is that it's this journey. And I think that's what it comes down to. I see what it's done, from my immediate family. And then for all of these other people we were able to serve. And I think really it's just kind of taking that first step. So, just knowing that there is hope and that there is something that can start you on this new journey. And more than that, that you'll have all of this support and community along the way. So whether it's with the oils or whether it's, starting to, meditate or just do something and take that first step to really lead you into kind of onto this new path, I should say. And, it is, when it comes to the oils anyway, it really is like this big family. And I think that's what I love, is seeing people's lives change along the way. There's so many stories that I could share. And it's just like Jamie has said and Dave has said, that, when you give somebody, these oils and you get that text message or that email or that phone call back saying, oh my gosh, I slept for the first time in 3 years, or, I couldn't walk or run, because of my, whatever it might be. And next thing you know, that's now what they're doing. It's just incredible. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And that's just what we love to do. So yeah, that's what I say. Take the first step, whatever that step is, and just kind of believe and know that you've got the support going forward.
And before we get to Jamie, I just want to interject there, because when I started talking to Jamie, I have a neurologist, I have a heart doctor, I have a pulmonary doctor, I have a regular doctor, and I had asked every one of my 9 doctors about these oils. What do they think? And every single one of them, without talking to each other, all pretty much gave me the same. What do you have to lose? They're all natural. They're not going to hurt you. Give it a shot. As doctors, they can't say, heck with all regular medicine, just do it. But they said, what do you have to lose? They're all natural. They cannot hurt you. There are no side effects to them. Give it a shot. And that is the bottom line that I want to leave everybody with, is if 9 doctors tell you to give you a shot, what do you have to lose at that point? Try it. If it doesn't work, go back to your regular medicine. No one is holding a gun to your head or your feet to the fire. I mean, they could do that to mine. I don't feel mine, but that's okay. To say you have to do this. You know what I mean? So give it a shot. All right, Jamie, you're up.
So I think what I want to leave everyone with is basically what you all of you have said is, I love what I do. And what I do is kind of bridging that gap between modern medicine and natural medicine. And like you had said, Tina, oftentimes doctors, medically trained professionals aren't familiar with these products. I know I wasn't. In PA school, we didn't even have one class on natural. When I was first introduced to them, I thought it was hocus pocus and I had no idea. So I really did the research before I used them, especially on my newborn baby. But I think this is the missing piece. Of course there's a time and place for modern medicine, and it's absolutely 100% needed and necessary. But this is also amazing, incredible option. So I just want to leave people with that you have choice. You have a choice. You have other options. Explore those options, explore what's best for you and your family. We are here to help you and support you. And I think a lot of these oils can benefit, they work fine with medications. They work great with, lifestyle changes, but in modern medicine, we don't have options, like Dave was saying, for, a lot of times we don't have. If you go to the doctor, you have a virus, sleep it off, drink plenty of water. I mean, I have said that a million times. We don't have those options. Right now in our world, boosting our immunity is absolutely necessary. And we have the tools with these oils to do that. So I think it's just incredible to have this toolbox. I carry my little oils around everywhere I go. And that's my medicine cabinet, really. So I just want to leave everybody with, we are not saying one way or the other, ditch your medications, absolutely nothing like that. We're here to bridge that gap and support you and just show you, there's options for natural solutions.
And give your email again, Jamie.
Oh, it's my name, Jamie Oakley 401@gmail.com.
401. That's the Rhode Island area code. So you guys cannot forget that. Jamie Oakley at the Rhode Island area code 401. I want to thank you guys all. And what I am so impressed with is all of you are red bag carriers. You are believe in our thing about carrying a red bags. Now, if there's an oil that you use or if there's something that you like, make sure you write it on your red bag. It's part of your medication. It's something that you like to use. But this is carrying all of your medical information on you at all time, and it's non-tech based. Everybody should become a red bag carrier. And to do so, just go to www.rampisinclusion.com, click on the red bag and get yours today. Save a life, save your family. I want to thank you guys all for joining us tonight and educating us all about the oils. Like I said, if you guys can churn me, you can churn anybody, because I was as thick-headed as they come. And Jamie can attest to that. Look at her face, as you can see. She's like, yep, yes, she was. I've checked with all of my doctors. I have done my research out there. And let me tell you, for neuropathy pain, for migraines, for headaches, for neck tension, from sitting in my wheelchair all day, the pains and the spasms that I get in my back, these help. These make a huge difference. And I'm not living on Motrin or painkillers or stuff, because after a while of taking them, they don't work anymore. So here's an alternative to give you another solution where you're not putting poisons in your body. You're getting a natural recovery to your body. Try them. You have nothing to lose. 9 doctors told you, try them. You have nothing to lose. Make sure you reach out to these 3 amazing people. They are all tagged in this post. So you can click on any one of their names and you can message them on Facebook, or you can fill out the Google Docs. Talk to them. Tell them your medical information. They are medical in the medical field. So you're not going to shock them when you tell them you have digestive issues or throat issues, or your husband is a pain in the ass and you need to do something to take the stress of what he's causing you, or your children are screaming nonstop and you need to not kill them today. So what can you do to help yourself for your mental health? Let's be real, people. These things work. These things happen. We need to fix it. Correct, guys?
Absolutely, Tina. Yes.
But I want to thank you guys all for joining us tonight, and hopefully you will get a lot of people reaching out to you, because these things work. Make sure you come and you join us next Wednesday night, where we'll be talking to Karen Dalton for Dare to Dream Ranch. They are another incredible organization that we'll be highlighting next week. But seriously, Try these oils. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye,
Thanks,
Tina.
Tina.
Thank you.
Have a good night.